Hi guys, as I promised, I'm going to do a McFarlane dragon again, and it's going to be one unusual guy. This is a McFarlane Series 4 water dragon. I bought him loose from eBay for a really good price, and I was actually never intending to get him, but now that I have, he's slowly growing on me. What a strange creature this is. In the first place, is it even a dragon? Or is it a snake? An arthropod, a crustacean perhaps, it's hard to tell. And it's really due mainly to the overabundance of these overlapping plates all over the dragon, all over the animal. Standing out in bold relief, they cover the entire dragon, making it look like a segmented creature. The back, for example, reminds me very much of the carapace of some shellfish, like a crab. We've certainly seen overlapping plates on dragons before, but look at how far these abdominal plates jut out. And it almost looks like the thoracic sterna of a crab or a lobster. And nowhere is this sort of box look more pronounced and obvious than looking at the tail. Now on the underside of the tail, we see the expected ventral plates, but they are a lot more pronounced. I'm trying to show you. Look at how far these jut out. They're almost like serrations. And that's the ventral surface. Now if you look at the sides of it, the sides of the creature, you get the same box segmented look. And then going to the dorsal aspect, you get that as well. It's almost like this entire animal was boxed in. And there is in fact does not look very draconian to me at first glance. In fact, when I first saw pictures of it, I thought it was a snake-like creature. In hand, however, I realized there are actually two legs. But even then, you notice that they feature the same sort of boxed-in look. They're all sheathed in the same sort of armored configuration. No, we're not talking about a typical dragon with typical scale type covering. What we have here is an exoskeleton, like that on some arthropod or even a crustacean. And that's where I believe this dragon takes its inspiration from. Let's talk about where it gets really weird. The hands. There aren't any. Any fingers that may have once existed in this creature have long since disappeared. The hand has been reduced to actually just one single digit, and it does seem to have, still have separate joints. You've got a terminal phalanx plus a claw. And the whole thing makes it look like, in fact, half a crab claw. So that begs the question, what use is half a claw gonna be? Well, there we go to my fascination with different types of exotic seafood, in particular the mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp is a type of sea crustacean that looks like a large shrimp with a pair of mantis-like forelimbs. These end in one of two main weapons, a club or a spear. Either way, these strike out and retract at high speed, faster than a blink of an eye. In fact, if you look at some YouTube videos, they show you these mothers in action. It's really easy to imagine the same for this dragon. Now, the contortions of the low limbs, if you see here, really hyperflex knee, and look at that coil-like position ready to spring, and also the torso. It's very extreme. It's coiled and ready to spring into action. The spear here is drawn back, ready to be released with the rest of the body as one gargantuan deadly spear. And so the entire attitude of this dragon is really so dynamic. Color-wise is very striking. It's hard to see, I guess, through what I'm filming, and you really have to look at it in person. But the base color is unusually and pleasingly to my eyes a jet black that looks almost coal-like in nature. There's something very menacing and badass about this, but add the striking contrast of orange to the mix, and the accents become all the more striking. I just wanted to highlight something I didn't notice before, is that under just the right lighting, you see that there are actually more color subtleties than I thought at first. Most notably here, in between the segments, you see tinges of blue, and that all the more recalls to me the shells of certain shellfish. And that's a very, very nice touch because it was a subtlety that I didn't notice before, and you'd only really appreciate this in hand viewed from different angles. So yeah, I just thought I had to mention that in fairness. But wait, there's more. First, I want you to look at the Series 5 Water Dragon for a moment. Now, Series 5 looks to be quite obviously evolved from a wyvern to a creature adapted for the sea. The wings have adapted to these pedals for swimming, but it's still easy to see that they evoke images of wings that may have existed in ages past. The Series 4 Water Dragon, however, seems to have chosen a very different path in the evolution of its wings. Just trying to see if I can catch the light just right. Yeah, so instead of pedals that come off the fingers, the wings actually have shrunk to become these impressive flagellating seaweed-like structures. And in fact, if you look at it in total, I'm just going to, in total, something like that. You notice how this massive tail fin, together with these two evolved wings, actually look like one uniform group of seaweed growing from a black rock-like formation, all moving in the same direction with the waves. And this is really camouflage that makes a very spectacular sight, except for whichever unfortunate prey might be attracted to it. You notice also the dotted pattern here, which I really like. And yeah, probably clearer to look at here. You see these black bits here, black dots, and no, it looks like the seeds on the fronds of various ferns, and that really enhances the disguise of this as some sort of vegetation. But it's also interesting because that color scheme, the dots, actually look to me like the warning color of a poison dart frog, only in orange. And you wonder what kind of threat this dragon might face that would require such warning coloration. Perhaps another water dragon? Articulation isn't much. You've got 2 points of articulation on the tail, here, and another one up here. And you also have some articulation for the spear tips. Yeah, I thought the head turned, but it doesn't. So, as expected from McFarlane dragons, the articulation really isn't anything useful, really. The base now is interesting. It looks pretty plain at first sight, like a sandy beach bottom, except that here you see these orange shaped thingies. At first I thought they were mushrooms or something, and then it occurred to me that these actually look like eggs. And now we can add another layer of imagination to this diorama, that of a fierce creature guarding its clutch of eggs. And the aggression in this pose can also be imagined to be in reaction to the approach of another dangerous creature. And you know, that's the thing that's fascinating to me about the McFarlane line of dragons. The power of each sculpt to inspire fantasy and fire up the imagination. And that's just my interpretation. What's yours? So that's it for this review. Next time, I hope to do one more review to close out 2014, and it promises to be another unusual dragon. So look out for it. See you next time, guys.